Yo, I forgot to hit the little music button, so it's fine. We're live. We're rocking and rolling. Welcome into the DFS Huddle. Kyle Pavance, Erik Toft. We're going to go over the Sunday main slate, 10-game main slate, FanDuel, DraftKings, and Millionaire Maker slate, essentially, however you want to call it, the 10 games. First things first, I want to say thank you to everyone watching, everyone on YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. We really appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, check out that video description. That's where you can get into our Patreon, our lineups, our best bets, all that good stuff right down there. I never know right away if the stuff's working. I always wonder if it's running on all the platforms it's supposed to run on. You know, you're just kind of sitting here hoping that it works. I have no idea. But we're going into week 6 now. We saw the Giants beat the Eagles last night, Erik. The NFL is drunk right now, and there's a lot of injuries. This is kind of a limited slate, only 10 games. I think lineup construction is going to be interesting. Salary can be left on the table, in my view. The optimal lineup will have salary left on the table. We got what up, Fly Guy? We appreciate you watching. We were just talking about this, Erik, having a panic attack as your boy Jamar Chase in the Guillotine League is on the injury report. Illness. He got sent home early with an illness. He's not hurt. He's sick.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
So basically what you got to keep an eye on there and all injuries. You can follow us on Twitter too if it's something important like that. But check tomorrow. If he's on the flight, he's playing. If he's not on the flight, he's not playing. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Right? Should we just start? Again, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want more from us, our DFS lineups, all that stuff.
Our bets.
In the Patreon.
I mean, bets. Like you and I have been pulling out bets. Like last night we gave out the Giants plus 7.5. I had Theo Johnson, missed it by a yard and a half, which was heartbreaking. But baseball stuff. Kyle's pulling out. He's doing a great job of finding 2 player props that he loves, parlaying them up with a little juice, getting them like plus 350 plus 500.
500. Those are almost over now. The strikeout parlays are basically done now. I mean, we'll see what happens in the league championship series, but like, did you see the fucking price for Scooble strikeouts today? To get plus money, you have to take 10. It's 9 plus at minus like 165 and 10 plus 114. It's absolutely outrageous. It's fucking crazy.
I will be honest, and I'm the hugest Tigers fan. I'm going to be so locked into that game. I'm going to be flowing with the Modelo, watching that game, yelling at the screen. I will probably bet the under 9.5 there, and I'll probably post it on the Patreon.
It's it's dicey. I'm just making sure this is working. This is working here. I just wanted to.
We're live.
I like to make sure the YouTube is working and everything as well. So we're going to go over all the matchups here. Quarterback, we're going to go position by position. Maybe we'll make a lineup at the end. We'll check it out. Let's start at quarterbacks. I think it's a little top heavy. I have some of the injured players marked here. Lamar Jackson's not going to play. He's been ruled out. Brock Purdy's probably not going to play, so it's going to be Mac Jones. Kyler Murray has not been practicing. So just some of the injuries to keep an eye on at the quarterback spot. But who do you like this week at the top, the middle, the bottom? I think quarterback's kind of limited this week. There's not a lot of great options in my view. In this main slate.
I got 3. that I'm looking at. Number 1, I'm looking at Jordan Love. Has 2 passing scores in 3 of his last 4 games, only 1 pick. He's gone over 290 in 2 of his last 3. He has 20 passing scores in his last 10 home games and no picks in his last 6. The Bengals are giving up the 9th most points per game to quarterbacks. Obviously, the worry is what? They get down to the 5 and they just run it in with Josh Jacobs. Is Jordan Love going to get the touchdowns? Because he doesn't have the rushing upside to get to that 20 points that, we both like to get from our quarterback position. The next one, your boy, Herbie, Justin Herbert. Last game, 166 in the air, 60 on the ground, has 3 scores, but unfortunately 4 picks in the last 3 games. He's been under 205 in 2 straight, but he's playing against the Dolphins, who are allowing the 3rd most points per game in terms of fantasy to opposing quarterbacks. That defense is brutal. It doesn't get a pass rush, but they're getting guys out of the weight room to come play offensive line. That's a little worry there. And then my boy that we're just talking about off screen, Dakota Prescott, 11 scores in his last 4 games, 1 rushing touchdown, averaging 292 yards per game, 5 TDs, 30 attempts, has thrown 40 passes in 3 of 4 games. The worry is the Panthers, shockingly, 10th fewest per game to opposing quarterbacks. But
secondary is good for Carolina. J.C. Horn and company. That's actually a good secondary in Carolina.
That's like the 3 guys I looked at that I'm kind of going in that direction right now.
Yeah, Carolina is one of the kind of avoid matchups for me in terms of that secondary. They're actually pretty good. I agree with you with Herbert. The reason I like Herbert more than Jordan Love, even Matthew Stafford has a great match, scored 30 back-to-back weeks, has a great matchup with Baltimore. It's will those teams need to put the foot on the gas to win the game? Yeah. In that Charger-Dolphins game, the Dolphins offense to me can score on the Chargers defense, forcing Herbert and company to play a little more. Obviously, Noah Murray and Hampton this week. So now it's going to be Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins. And so I could see a rushing touchdown. I'm going back and forth, Jaden Daniels or Justin Herbert on my fantasy team this week. I love Justin Herbert at the top, 6'3" on DraftKings, 8'5", a little expensive on FanDuel. Going down the list, there's not a lot that I love. Jordan Love, I have him marked. You mentioned the Bengals, but again, Bengals are worst in the league against running backs. That could be a game where just the Packers are ahead and they don't need to throw it a whole lot. So it ends up the Josh Jacobs show. So that's why I like Herbert a little bit more there. Some value guys, Bryce Young anybody against the Cowboys, always and forever. That defense is really, really bad. Now, Bryce Young isn't putting up huge numbers, but this is a sort of matchup where you could get a couple touchdown passes, maybe a rushing touchdown. The Cowboys are terrible against running quarterbacks. They're terrible against quarterbacks in general. They allow the most in the league to opposing. They're their highest adjusted fantasy points allowed against quarterbacks. Dallas is bad. Bryce Young, 4.8 on DraftKings, 7K on FanDuel. And I mean, I'm looking, it's just, I thought about Aaron Rodgers, honestly. Cleveland trading away Greg Newsome. Now they got Tyson Campbell, but I just have like a weird feeling in that he's cheap. Cleveland, they're going to get there fast. That's the problem, is that pass rush. Can they hold up? But the secondary, they changed it up. They traded Greg Newsome for Tyson Campbell, who's still a very good young corner, but it's going to make it more of a zone scheme, less of that man, so it might free up Metcalf a little bit. So just kind of like a wild card, one that what the fuck that doesn't make any sense, but why is it in the first place lineup? I would say that guy could be Aaron Rodgers for whatever reason. It's just a weird feeling. And one other guy I did want to mention, Sam Darnold, coming off his biggest performance as the quarterback last week. The Jags allow a ton of fantasy points to receivers and quarterbacks. The Jags are going to be pushing back offensively. If you're looking for some value, I think Sam Darnold could be interesting as well. Moving on to running backs. Who you like at running back this week, Erik? Obviously, at the top, we've got McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. Who do you got this week? Who do you like at running back?
Running back, no particular order. I like Junkins, obviously, from the Browns. Had 110 last week. Also, he had a 50-yard TD run called back on a hold. He's gone 18 carries, 90 yards. Was in 3 straight. He's had a run for 61 yards in all 4 of the games he's been there. He's averaging 18 carries and 87 yards a game. This Green Bay defense is not that good against the run. Oh, no, sorry, not Green Bay. Excuse me, the Steelers defense. Steelers are not that good against the run. I think they're going to lean on him, especially with Dylan Gabriel. But the worry is, do they stack the box and force Gabriel to throw? One of the bets I put in, we already beat the market with the number movement in the Patreon. Make sure to click the link in the description to join. Aston Gentry. I think this is a huge matchup against the Titans. Titans cannot stop the run at all. Sweat is out for them. With Geno Smith struggling, Brock Bowers not 100%. I think they're going to lean on him a lot. He's averaging 102.5 yards the last 2 games and 19.6 touches. So I think they're really going to lean on him a lot, and he's going to get close to 20 touches. We mentioned Josh Jacobs. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Is he going to come out of the game because this game's already out of hand? And then are they going to get Wilson, who's just coming back from injury? Are they going to kind of get him back into the flow offensively of coming back for this game kind of gets out of whack? I like Kamara. A little worried. He only had a 56% snap share, season low. But with how bad the Patriots defense is against the run, I think we could see him. Obviously, Miller, he's gone 21 for 106 the last 2 games on the road. Are we last 2 games for the Saints? Or is he going to take over and be that lead dog with New Orleans? I think New Orleans is live this week. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. CMC, he has went 22 for 57 and 8 for 82 in the air, but he has yet to rush for 70 yards. We need to remember in DK, where it's a PPR type format, he's playing against the Bucks. Bucks are the worst team DVOA defending the pass. So I really think you're going to be getting value with him in the pass game. You talked about the Chargers backfield. I'm definitely interested, but I don't know between Vidal or Haskins which one to go with. I think if we can kind of get a little bit of an idea which one we're going to go with, I think they're worth it. If I had to pick, I think it would be Haskins. Haskins got the work right after the injury. Vidal came in when the second stringers came in. I love Kenneth Walker this week. Had 10 for 86 last week. He's only playing 65% of the downs, but he has 80 yards in 3 of the last 4. He's averaging 15 carries and 78 and a catch. He's scored 3 touchdowns in 4 games. Javonte Williams, 16 were for 135 against that Panthers defense. We talked about it earlier, how you want to run on the Panthers, not necessarily pass. Obviously, Kyron Williams, I mean, that fumble killed everyone in the Survivor. But the Ravens can be run on. They are a bleeding gate, if you will, up front. And then obviously Jonathan Taylor, no explanation needed there. But a sneaky one a little further down, Michael Carter, 18 for 51 and a touchdown, 5 for 22 in the air, had 23 touches. And that kind of sticks out because that's more touches than Trey Benson or James Conner had in a game this year. So they really filter the offense a lot through Michael Carter. So I think in terms of a lower budget guy, mid-tier, I'm kind of liking Michael Carter.
I don't know what a doofall is. I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. Can you tell me what that is? Calling the Jags doofall? What?
That's what Duval, remember the guy, the coach? Duval?
I don't know.
Owen?
Yeah. I mean, I think he looks like Roy McIlroy. But I don't know. I do. I was like, oh, he looks like an older, like more drunk Roy McIlroy. But I don't know what the fuck that guy's. Okay. I don't know what it means. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. So if we just look at matchups, right? The 5 worst teams in adjusted fantasy points allowed. Ravens are the worst. Cowboys second. Titans third. Bengals fourth. Bears fifth. Dolphins are 6th. And surprisingly, the Jets 8th. So you can, or excuse me, the Broncos 8th. So you can attack the Broncos on the ground. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love him every single week. Hard not to love McCaffrey. Now, look, I don't love running against Vita Vea, but it's the targets in the passing game as well. The touches for Christian McCaffrey are there. They've had the extra days to rest. Give me tons of Christian McCaffrey. Josh Jacobs, you mentioned he's got the best matchup on paper. No team allows more fantasy points than the Bengals. In a blowout script with Flacco, possibly no Chase. Love Josh Jacobs. Second most fantasy points allowed, Tennessee Titans. Ashton Jinty's coming into his own, and he's a part of that passing game. Brock Bowers still not practicing, so they might need to dump it off to him even a little bit more. I like that. We mentioned the Ravens, another matchup to attack. Kyron Williams, he's the lead guy there. Looks like no Bucky Irving, no Chris Godwin. Rachaad White, even though the Niners are a good defense, he's going to get a lot of touches. He's going to have to play a lot. So Rachaad White certainly live for me there. Let's see. We'll get to that question here in just a second. Rico Dowdle. So no Chuba Hubbard this week again. The Dallas Cowboys defense, Rico Dowdle coming off a massive game. Now we've got a revenge spot against the Cowboys. 5-8 DraftKings, 6-6 FanDuel. Give me all the Rico Dowdle you can handle. Sign me up for that. Tony Pollard against the Raiders, who allow the 9th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. I like Tony Pollard a lot. Double-digit fantasy points every single week. Further down, now, I just want to talk those Chargers running backs are both, to me, mispriced. They're a little expensive. For me, if you're picking one, I like Kamani Vidal. I just think he's the guy who's been there longer. He kind of does more things out of the pass. Hassan Haskins is a big power guy, downhill runner. Kamani Vidal does a little bit of everything. So I think in terms of fantasy, Vidal would be the guy you would like there. And then you're right, Michael Carter, if you're looking for some value, he and Bam Knight Sports Facts asks a question here before we move on to wide receivers. I have Walker, ATN, Williams, and Dobbins. Is that Kyron Williams, I'm assuming? Can start 3. Who do I go with? I think it's ATN. I think it's I don't hate that Dobbins matchup against the Jets, but the Jets haven't been terrible against the run. I think it's probably those first 3 right there. Erik likes Kenneth Walker more than I do. I don't think Walker plays enough, and he's too brittle, his spot on the rotation, in my view, with Charbonnet there. But I'd probably take the first 3, Walker, ATN, Williams. What about you, Erik?
Jesus. I mean, I guess it kind of depends. I mean,
it's Kyron Williams. So Kyron Williams is definite.
Kyron Williams,
he's definite. Sure. Yep. And then
Dobbins.
I like the matchup.
But I mean, my worry is if that game gets off script, do they go to Harvey?
I don't know. I mean, that's one of those Euro games too. I think they're over in fucking Ireland or England or some one of those stupid things. It's probably ATN. I think Williams and ATN for sure. Travis Etienne's a different player this year. And then between Walker and Dobbins, I think it's very similar situations. Walker probably has the higher upside. That's probably where I'd go.
I'd probably be the same too, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'd go. Jacksonville, if you just kind of look at the matchups, Walker does have the better matchup overall. All right, let's get to wide receivers. Always Puka Nacua all the time. Second most fantasy points allowed Baltimore. He's going to get 12 to 15 targets every single week. So Puka Nacua show. After that, we talked about the Jamar Chase injury. CeeDee Lamb probably not back this week. Looking at next week, who do you like at wide receiver this week, Erik?
Start with DK Metcalf. Scored in 3 straight, but he's been under 35 yards in 2 games. When you look at his targets for the season, 7, 6, 4, 5. My worry though is the exciting thing for me is Newsom's gone. So I'm not that high on Campbell. I think that's more of a positive matchup for DK Metcalf. Sure. Double E down in Tampa, 7 for 163 and a tutty, has caught 6 balls in every game, averaging 1 touchdown, 5 receptions, 89 yards, an absolute stud. What would you go with there, man? I would kind of go
with yeah. So let's see. Who are the Patriots playing again? God damn. There's so
Saints
many,
Saints are 1 DVOA defending wide receiver ones.
Yeah, it's defensive. It's full. It's half point PPR. Swift against Washington on Monday night. Washington's been very good against and in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed, they are 6th best. Atlanta, Green Bay, Cleveland, the Rams, the Patriots, and then Washington. When you look at wide receivers, you are right. The Saints, it's negative 0.06, so they're about even. That's tough for me. I probably take Diggs, honestly. Swift just hasn't been doing shit. I don't trust the Bears offense. I don't trust Caleb Williams. I don't trust them to move the ball enough to do anything. And he's always hurt. He's just always fucking hurt.
Jaden Diggs for me. I dug into it. He averages 18.1 DraftKings points when Tyreek Hill doesn't play. Yeah, very interested there. JSN has gone 4 for 75 in every game. He's averaging 7 for 107, scoring a touchdown at 0.4 per game. He's scoring 2 of his last 3. Obviously, we got to talk George Pickens, 9 targets in 3 of 4 games, averaging 5 for 86, has scored in 4 straight. I had a nice little thing written about Jamar Chase, but I'm not gonna mention that just because we don't know what's going on. He has a runny nose. He went home. I will say this: if he plays, I'm going to be interested in him just because it's Jamar Chase, and because of the illness, he's probably going to be insanely under-owned. McMillan from the Panthers, 6 for 73 last week, has 15 targets the last 2 games. I'm not going to say anything about Puka. I love Jacoby Myers, went 6 for 65 in his first 2. He, out of everyone, when you look at people who are getting red zone targets and target percentage on their team, he has yet to score this season. He is due for a touchdown. Obviously, Michael Pittman went 8 for 82 last game against the Cardinals, has 5 catches and has scored a tutty in 4 of 5 games, and including 3 straight. He's emerging as that number 1 target, and it's amazing what he can be when he actually has a quarterback under center, my man.
Yeah, agreed.
That's kind of where I'm looking at.
I love Tat McMillan. Cowboys, when you look at adjusted fantasy points allowed, it's the most. The Cowboys against wide receivers, 14.4. They are a full 5 points worse than second worst Baltimore Ravens, Steelers, Rams, Patriots, Bengals round out the top 6. Love Tat McMillan. I think you're absolutely right there in that spot. Emeka Egbuka, look, probably no Chris Godwin. It looks like Chris Godwin is out as well. Baker's going to have to throw to somebody, the Sterling Shepherds of the world and the Emeka Egbuka just every single week. Even though the Niners have been good, you gotta consider Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's not getting the targets because Cooper Kupp's been getting a lot of. I think Cooper Kupp, if you want to pivot down, 9 targets last week. There's value there, but Puka Nacua, I'm going to do everything I can to get him in lineups because I just know it's a safe 25 every week, and I love that about him. Going down, you mentioned DK Metcalf. I completely agree. Cleveland struggled against opposing wide receivers. Greg Newsome is kind of a man-to-man guy. It's going to allow more zone. DK, a big play for DK Metcalf, is certainly on the horizon. Michael Pittman's been sensational. You mentioned him. Chris Olave, some of these Saints guys. Chris Olave, double-digit targets almost every single week, double-digit fantasy points every week, 5-1 DraftKings, 5-9 FanDuel. Kendrick Bourne for the 49ers. We've seen it last week. He's the number 1. Well, all these injuries to Ayuk and Jawan Jennings and Pearsall, who's going to be out again, it looks like. Kendrick Bourne, 5,000 DraftKings, 5-7 on FanDuel. Trey Tucker against a bad Tennessee secondary at 4,800. I like that quite a bit as well. I mentioned Cooper Kupp, 14 targets over the last couple of weeks, 4,600 on DraftKings. Jacksonville, 17th against wide receivers. Not great in the slot. I like that matchup as well. I mentioned Sterling Shepard. Someone who's going to have to get the ball. They just don't have anyone to throw to. And then we want to talk about no CeeDee Lamb, even though that Carolina secondary is really good. How about a 3,600 Ryan Flournoy, 100 yards receiving last week? Isaiah Bond, 8 targets for the young little connection there in Cleveland, the rookie who they signed guaranteed money. Look, they're playing for nothing in Cleveland. That team is dog shit. Dylan Gabriel's not a professional quarterback. He's just not. So they're going to throw a lot of wide receiver screens, etc. So a guy like Isaiah Bond way down there, I think could be some value as well. Before we move to tight ends, let's answer. We got another question here. Let's see. Random. If I stack Flacco and Chase, what if no one is going to play those two together? I mean, you can do it in DFS. No matter what, I think Flacco's upside is really limited. So I don't think you're going to get – I think you have more upside going cheap with Bryce Young against and a better matchup against the Cowboys. You don't have to stack it. Just where's Flacco going to get you? Flacco's got to throw you 5 touchdowns, and I just don't see it. That would be my think there. What do you think? Trying to stack. I'm just out on Flacco.
I mean, I'm assuming it's a DFS question. If you're playing like a big contest, I think it's worth a try. Just because I don't think anyone's going to do it. I think Chase's ownership is going to be low, but the probability.
Yeah, get Chase in. I just don't think you need to play Flacco with Chase.
The probability of this happening and it being successful is the same probability as Jennifer Lopez calling me tonight.
She might call you. We got Lamar out again. Fuck me. I have May as a backup, but Darnold is on the waiver wire. Should I pick him up and play him or stick with Drake May? So that's
May's got the rushing upside though.
May has the rushing upside playing New Orleans. And then we have Sam Darnold playing Jacksonville. Both matchups, pretty similar matchups, quite frankly, on the matchup side. That's tough. I would say Seattle's going to force Sam Darnold to put the pedal to the metal more than probably New Orleans does New England. But we saw New Orleans beat the Giants, so trying to do that football math is really difficult. Yeah, maybe slightly to Drake May. Slight advantage to Drake May with the rushing upside, like you said.
I don't think either way. I mean, I think we're talking.
Yeah, split.
I don't think this is. If you lose, I don't think this is going to be the reason why.
Yeah, I don't think. If I would have played Drake May over Darnold, I would have. Unlikely. Yeah. Unlikely there. Tight end. What do you got this week? Tough position this week.
Oh, dude, I got one tight end I loved, and I put a bet for him over in the Patreon. Make sure you go and sign up. Link is in the description. I got this one. It's already moved 5 yards, my man. Give me Jake Ferguson. I absolutely love him. Ran 22 routes on 33 snaps last week. Has got 5 catches in every game. Has 7 catches in his last 4. He scored in his last 2. He's averaging 8.2 grabs, 54.4 yards per game. His opponent, the Panthers, cannot defend the tight end at all. They are giving up the second most points to the position. I love him this week. I absolutely love Jake Ferguson. AJ Barmer, ran 22 routes on 48 snaps, playing 80% of the snaps in 4 of the last 5, has 4 scores in 4 games, but it's very touchdown dependent. He only has 1 game over 35 yards. Obviously, this is the long shot. We had Kate Otten over in the Patreon last week. Hunter Long from your Jacksonville Jaguars went 3 yards on 1 catch, has 15 catches in 42 games. He hasn't scored 2 scores in 5 games this season, but the Seattle is awful defending the tight end. And if you're looking kind of for a low budget dart throw, Hunter Long is very interested to me. Tyler Warren, 24 routes on 47 snaps, scored in 2 straight, 1 rushing. In 5 games, he has 3 games of 70 yards, 2 under 45. He's averaging 4.6 catches, 61 yards a game. Juwan Johnson went 5 for 49 each of the first 3 games, but his last 2, he has gone 5 for 45, has 5 grabs in 2 of 3 home games. And the Patriots really struggled defending the tight end. You have to monitor, though, he is dealing with an ankle injury. And your boy from the 49ers, whose name I cannot pronounce at all, so I'm just going to say Uncle Jack. He had 40 routes on 63 snaps, has scored 3 times in 2 straight, has 1 game of 45 yards, 7 catches last week. We had the Kelsey over in the Patreon last week. Jags are another team that can't defend the tight end. So I absolutely love your boy, Uncle Jake, from the San Francisco 49ers, whose last name I'm never going to attempt to pronounce because I always butcher it.
Jake Tonjes. Jake Tonjes. Jake from State Farm. There we go. You're absolutely right about Jake Ferguson. He's benefited the most, him and Flournoy, from the injury to CeeDee Lamb and now Kevontae Turpin. Carolina, second most fantasy points. The Bengals allow the most fantasy points, as they always do, to opposing tight ends. And for whatever reason, I don't fucking get it. I'll attack this matchup all the time and I'll never get points. I'm like, how the fuck do they allow the most fantasy points if I can't get a goddamn fantasy point against them? But Tucker Kraft, really nice advantage there. If you're looking, Jake Ferguson's going to be really, really popular. So Tucker Kraft, Hunter Henry, another great matchup against the Saints. Just sometimes Austin Hooper sort of poaches him and they forget about Hunter Henry a little bit. That's a concern there. Darren Waller is settled in as a piece of that offense. Look at the Browns here. They're going to need the tight end. Like I said, Gabriel does not have a pro NFL arm. So he's going to need to go to the tight end. We saw Harold Fanning get the touchdown last week, but the targets went to David Njoku. Steelers allow a ton of points to opposing tight ends, 3,500 for Njoku, 3,400 for Fannin. I think they're absolutely both in play. You mentioned Kate Otten. No Chris Godwin now. No Mike Evans. No Bucky Irving. Injuries piling up. Bucker trusts Kate Otten. It's one of the weaknesses of the 49ers defense. They're 19th against opposing tight ends is Cade Otton. And I think that's it. Juwan Johnson, we're just kind of waiting for it to happen. It's been a slow start. I have him still in one of my other fantasy leagues. The big game's coming. I don't mind a little Juwan Johnson as well.
Real quick, Shefty just tweeted out that Brock Bowers officially ruled out. Does that change our opinion on Michael Mayer?
I mean, they haven't been going to him anyways. You know, I don't know. Gino, Jesus Christ. Maybe if you're playing that afternoon only slate and you're looking to be a little bit different, throw in a guy like Michael Mayer, something like that. We got some questions before we move on to the defenses. This one's from Caden. Half PPR. I think they need one. So flex one Brees Hall. I'm assuming that's ATN. Cortland Sutton. MHJ, BTJ. You know who those are?
Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brian Thomas Jr.
Very good. Yikes.
Half point.
Probably Cortland Sutton against that Jet. Although Sauce Gardner's going to be on him. You can
Well,
only pick one of them. What kind of fucking league are you playing in where you have all of them for one flex? That's kind of crazy options. Brees Hall, the Broncos have a good secondary. You have to run it. And they're going to have to throw it underneath it. Probably Brees Hall, if I'm picking one of those guys. Brees Hall or ATN. I really like ATN this year in general. I think he's a different player. What do you think?
I mean, like the Cohen offense, dude. The Cohen offense is just filtering filtering stuff. He's this year's Bucky Irvin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love ETN. We have a bet on the Brees Hall receiving yards over in the Patreon. So definitely in a half point PPR. That is interesting to me. All these guys are good options, except for I'm not the biggest Brian Thomas Jr. guy. Lawrence doesn't throw him the ball at all.
Not enough. That's for damn sure.
At all. If I had to do this, I would put ETN 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. 2, Brees Hall 3, the other 2, Sutton 4, Thomas Jr. 5.
We got another question here from Tyler Shooter. Says, need a flex in PPR. Do you like? I'm assuming that's Hassan Haskins, Kenneth Gainwell, or Ryan Flournoy. Well, Hassan Haskins will not catch a single pass. He's a big power back. Gainwell splitting time with what's his goddamn Jalen Warren.
Yeah.
Flournoy has been the guy. Look, the injuries to Turpin and Lamb, if it's full PPR, even though it's a tough secondary, they're going to be focusing on Pickens. I think it's probably Ryan Flournoy over both those guys in my view. Who do you like in that one?
In that one, I'd probably go Ryan Flournoy too, just because. Well, I mean, then again, it's the Panthers defense. Do we know the injury status of Jalen Warren? Because he missed the game overseas.
If Jalen Warren does not play, then Gainwell would be an RB1. Then you would just take him. But
yeah,
I think Jalen Warren's playing.
Yeah, I would. He's progressing. He's looking like he's going to go.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go. A lot of questions here. I like this. Look at this show. The show turned into a lot of questions. Someone asked, what's wrong with T. Higgins? I hate the fact that he's on my team. Nothing's wrong with T. Higgins. He's got Jake Browning throwing him the ball. You got a fucking terrible quarterback. So that's what you're going to get. Dobbins or A-Chain for flex and full PPR. That's easy. That's Devin A-Chain. He's got a much bigger part of the passing game. That's much easier. MF Perp, motherfucking Perp. Yeah, that's Devin A-Chain all the way. All right, let's get to defenses. Who do you like on the defensive side this week, DFS? It's always a frustrating position, right?
I mean, obviously, we talked about before, the Patriots always just go up just because they have the best return game in the league. So we want someone that potentially could score a touchdown. Patriots are right there. Cowboys in the return game, interested in that. I like Seattle's defense against the Jaguars. I also like the 49ers defense against Tampa Bay. Am I crazy to like the Browns defense at 2,500 too?
I got them marked. No, you're just because of the pass rush, right? And they are the number one overall defense, I think, still right now in the league. If you get a stationary Aaron Rodgers and Myles Garrett gets rolling, could be fantasy points there.
And also, I like the Saints. I mean, I know everyone's like crowning the Patriots as the sleeper team, May MVP, all this shit, but that's still a run-based attack, and the Saints haven't been that bad against the run. Yeah. We saw them, how tough they made life for Dart and Scattaboo. Patriots do have some injuries up front. You know, I think the Saints at 2,400 is intriguing too.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. The Packers, obviously, against the Bengals, coming off just an embarrassing effort last Sunday night. Was it Sunday night or Thursday? I can't remember, but they got to get their shit together. Perfect get-right spot. Got sick Jamar Chase. Joe Flacco's been with the team for 3 days. Give me a break. Steelers defense. Anytime a defense is facing Dylan Gabriel, I am in the professional ranks. The Rams defense against Cooper Rush, who does not belong starting NFL games. Sign me up for that. The Colts against the Cardinals. Even if Kyler Murray plays, Kyler Murray's banged up and did not practice again today, I believe. So they could be going to the backup quarterback in Arizona. An injured Kyler Murray is awful. If you've ever watched an injured Kyler Murray play like a scared little bitch and can't throw the ball, Get ready for that. I love the Colts defense this week. Probably my favorite defense, the Colts defense. I do not like the Cardinals at all. Patriots defense, you mentioned them. The Browns defense. One other defense I wanted to mention, the Titans. Geno Smith has been a turnover machine. That offense fucking stinks. Geno Smith stinks. The play calling's awful. No Brock Bowers. Could see it be a sleeper with the Titans defense, who hasn't been great, but that Titans defense 2,400 did score in double digits last week. That's it. That's it for the show. Erik, anything you want to add overall, who you're building around, favorite? Again, all of our lineups, our favorite plays, the wide receiver, quarterback, all that stuff's in the Patreon, our best bets. Click the link, video description below, patreon.com. DFS Huddle is what you're looking for if you want our lineups over there. Overall, any thoughts before we get out here, Erik?
I love CMC this week. Love Ferguson this week. And probably Herbert at the quarterback position. Those are kind of the three that I'm going to be looking at. You want to build them a lineup real quick before we get out of here?
We could build a lineup, I guess. Let's see. There's Herbert. They put Herbert in on this little. So it's on DraftKings here. So Herbert, we'd want to stack Herbert. Let's do Justin Herbert. That's totally fine. So let's stack Herbert with, say, you want to do Quentin Johnston, who's a little bit banged up, or you want to, let's do Quentin Johnston, the big play upside, right? Definitely don't want Hassan Haskins on DraftKings. I just don't like that price, but we can get to like Ashton Genty. We have Kyron Williams, Justin Herbert, Ashton Genty, Tat McMillan, Puka Nakua's in our flex as well.
That's pretty good.
Browns defense. I don't hate that. Herbert, Williams, Genty, Isaiah Bond is sort of our sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Browns defense. I don't hate that either. With Njoku, it's a lot of Browns. I don't know if I want that much Browns.
You don't know if you want.
I don't know if I want that much, but I like getting Josh Jacobs in the flex, and then we can pay up a little bit at wide receiver here. We can get to someone like Chris Olave or Romeo Dobbs or Kendrick Bourne. I think that makes a lot more sense. Kyron, Genty, Jacobs, Browns D, even though I'd love to get to the Colts, and Quentin Johnston. I like that lineup quite a bit. Again, our lineups will be on the Patreon. Click that. Subscribe if you have not been doing so already. We really appreciate you guys. We got another. Okay, that's a good DFS lineup, sure. This is an old DFS site that I have that I used to administer that I could put some info in called Draft Dashboard. It's the thing I use for some of my research. For those of you watching, standard scoring Charbonnet or Golden to pair with CMC, Worthy or McConkey. I would say Matthew Golden. Probably Matthew Golden. Charbonnet, just 250-50. Matthew Golden's going to be on the field quite a bit. All right, we're going to get out of here. For myself and Erik, we'll see you next week. Head over to the Patreon for more from us. We appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend.